Well, it's the day after I've got back from Germany now. The trip went not just better than I expected, better than I would have even dared dream of, because without getting into too much detail, a lot happened before it. But I will say this though, my original plan was to stay with a friend of the family in Germany and making my way to and from there to Hockenheim for all 3 days of the race weekend. But a week before the trip, just a week before the trip, the plans had to be altered at the last minute. I was in a panic. I was like, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? Because the problem was not so much going to the race weekend, because that was relatively easy. I had, as you know, bought the race ticket months in advance. Almost a year in advance at that. But the big problem was bridging the gap between Frankfurt, which was the airport I was flying to, and Hockenheim, which is a distance of, in terms of miles anyway, about 50 miles or 80 kilometres if you use those sorts of things. How the hell am I going to bridge that gap? That was my mindset in the immediate aftermath of being told that the plans had to be changed. But after extensive research, ticking off various options like hire car, that was no good, train, bit difficult, and then finally coach, hooray, success! I was able to bridge the gap, albeit only as far as Heidelberg, because my hotel ultimately was in Heidelberg, or just south of it anyway. But yeah, that was eventually sorted. And then there was a new problem. How do I get to the racetrack? Because although, to coin the phrase in German, ich spreche ein bisschen Deutsch, I am by no means fluent. You know, I can get the gist of what people are saying, but it's difficult for me to ask things like, where's the bus to Hockenheim? In German. So, again, back on the internet, and bingo, there's the bus. There's all sorts of various places I've never even heard of. Okay. Eventually, though, it was sorted. Hockenheim is indeed on the bus timetable. But the problems didn't really end there, because flight was fine. Even getting on the coach to Heidelberg, that was fine. Now to get to the hotel. I have no idea what public transport goes to my hotel, so I'll just walk there. Bearing in mind I'd taken a screenshot of the route that I needed to take in order to get to my hotel, I thought it'd be relatively easy. But no, guess what? I ended up, instead of following the route that I should have taken, I ended up turning right too soon. The result? I ended up walking on an old railway line that's been converted into a cycle track. Brilliant. How do I get out of this mess? I looked at the map that I had taken a screenshot of, and I saw an industrial estate on there. And I was like, I'm quite close to that. If I continue along, I'll be able to get onto the road I should have been on before. Hooray! I was. And then I was greeted with the wonderful sight of my hotel. Bearing in mind I'd been lugging my stuff, the camping bag, well, camping rucksack anyway, and dragging a small trolley case behind me. When I got to the hotel, I was like, oh, relief. I can put my head down to sleep. But then, confusion. It was outside reception hours. What do I do? There was a note in English saying what I had to do. Okay, it says, type your name with the keypad to get your key. Okay, and then the key appears. Okay. Bearing in mind the door to reception is locked and the only way into the hotel is that way, I use the key in the lock. Eureka! It opens! Yay! And then I close the door, turn left at the reception area. Ah, wrong way, that's nearly the breakfast room. Back I go, up the stairs, open my door. I'm in! Finally I could get some sleep. Oh. So after that experience, you can imagine how nervous I was about making my way to Hockenheim for the Friday. I was like, shall I or shouldn't I? I had a lot of stress yesterday. Shall I go back to the train station to where the buses go? I've got time, so why not? I get there, I ask at the tourist office what time the bus gets there, and they said it's right outside, sir. Sure enough, there it was. Ah, okay. Dankeschön. Thank you very much. I'll get it. And after that, the rest is history, really. There was a shuttle bus to and from the circuit, which I took on the Friday, but didn't take on the Saturday or Sunday, because to say it was crowded would be an understatement. On the Saturday and Sunday, I walked to and from Hockenheim train station to the circuit, which was good exercise and a small adventure in itself. I just did what everyone else was doing, in that following everybody else. Just look out for anyone wearing Formula 1 gear. That's what I'd resorted to. So good though, all in all, my Hockenheim trip to the German Grand Prix was, it was not without its stresses. It basically means that no matter how much things can go wrong in the anticipation of a trip, as long as it goes okay on the trip itself, that's the important thing. Now, how much will it cost to go to the Belgian Grand Prix, I wonder?